Do you ever feel burdened by all of the things that you have to do on your to-do list, but at the same time, you find it really hard to say no to other people? Or do you find yourself constantly apologizing, feeling the need to agree to people because you want to keep the peace? Right? If that's you, then this is a video for you, because what I want to share with you in this video is how do you stop people-pleasing so that you can get to the core of who you are, say no, and still feel inspired by what you do. Right? Because when it comes to people-pleasing, the act of pleasing somebody or feeling the need to please others is a symptom of a deeper issue. And the other symptoms that are produced as a result of this root cause are things like the fear of rejection, worrying if someone will like you, or even feeling the burden of, well, if I say no to somebody, they're not going to need me anymore, and there's a fear of loss of feeling significant. Right? So those are some other symptoms that could arise as a result of people-pleasing. So let's take a walk with me. I'm at a beautiful beach scene. It's quite cold here, so I'm wearing a jacket, but this is a nice waterside walk. And walk with me as I share with you some tips on how to stop people-pleasing and really go back to the core of your authentic self. The essence of the action of people-pleasing is that there's some part of you that needs other people to like you. And the reason why is because the perception is that there's a part of me that is unlovable. And as a result of that, we seek to maintain harmony. We seek to have other people's acceptance. We seek to avoid rejection as well, because there's a perception that, well, there's a part of me that is not acceptable. There's a part of me that is unlovable. That's the essence of it. And as long as that happens, it will continue to be difficult to disagree or to really be authentic in our own opinions or our own points of view, because there is a hesitation that if I do express it, if I don't accept this request, then I will be definitely revealing a part of me that is unlovable or unacceptable. And that is, the essence of that is really our judgment. A judgment that, what is this part of me that I have not loved about myself? And so therefore, there's the inside of what we do feel in our inner world is a complete reflection of what's going to happen outside of us. So as long as there is continued perception that this part of me is hard to love, it's hard to accept, then the outer reflection will be, well, I don't want others to not like that part of me, about me. I don't want that unlovable part to be revealed to others. Right? So that's the essence of it. So what I want to give to you is 5 steps on how to overcome that so that you can be truly your authentic self, embracing at peace with it, but at the same time being able to create relationships with others that are meaningful both ways, not just meaningful one way. Right? So take a walk with me and let's go through the steps. Step number 1 is to express your who. Right? Your who is really, who are you? Who are you as a person? Not who you think you should be or who you wish you could be or what you think that others people would like you to be. Nothing like that. Is who are you? And this is where it's really important to know who you are. And most of the time when I ask people, who are you? The first thing I hear very commonly is my job title, here are my credentials, here's what I do for a living, and here are my achievements. But that is not who you are, because your career is not you. Your job title is not you. Right? Your credentials are not you. So this is where it's important. In order for you to really embrace who you are, know your who, it's like knowing who I am without letting other people define me. And recently I created a video exactly on that topic to help you really expand your mind, to connect with your authentic self. So I encourage you after this video to watch that, and the link is right here on this screen, on this corner of the screen. There'll be a link to that video on knowing who you are, being able to express it without letting others define you. So watch it after this video. Just bookmark it for now. Watch it after this video, because we're going to move to step number 2. So far, step number 1 was express your who. Step number 2 is express your authentic self. Right? When it comes to your authentic self, this is what is truly valuable to you, what is truly important to you. Who are you truly when it comes to your priorities in life? Because when it comes to people-pleasing, the act of people-pleasing means that we are adopting someone else's values on what we should do, who we should become, and how we should respond to other people's suggestions or their requests for you to do something for them. And anytime you are living by somebody else's values, it is unsustainable, because their values will always compete with your own, because no 2 individuals will have the exact same values. Even though they could be similar to you, even though you could be working in the same company, or maybe they had some certain common interest, no two people's values will be exactly the same. And so if you are living in accordance to their values and you are following your life in terms of what you should do, ought tos, and have tos, then it is unsustainable, because there's an internal conflict. So expressing your authentic self means living by your own highest values and realizing that there's nothing wrong with your values. Just because somebody else's values are different from yours, it doesn't make you less worthy, right? So that is step number 2. And let's move to step number 3. So let's summarize again. Step number 1 is express your who. Step number 2 is express your authentic self. Step number 3 is express your truth. So what is your truth? Specifically, the truth about your perspectives, the truth about what you feel is right for you, the truth about your opinions, the truth about your boundaries. All of those things are your truths. And these things affect your connections and your relationships with other people. But anytime you express your truth, the goal is to have the other person understand what you meant by that and to understand how are the truths going to help them achieve what's important to them. But anytime you are in conversation with someone, even though you are expressing your truth with the best intentions of building a meaningful relationship or an improved future, there's always complexities in the landscape. Because another person, as I mentioned earlier, will not have the same values as you, but they also come from different cultural backgrounds and different communication styles, and they have different perspectives towards trust or what should happen next. So as a result of that, this creates certain complexities where it's important to implement what I call the golden triangle. When you're expressing your truths, to really implement a triangle which has 3 sides to it. So the 3 elements of effective communication to navigate that landscape is to understand your audience, to create the right message to audience match, and to finally to implement the contextual features of that particular situation. And in order to do this effectively, there's also complexities around what happens when a conflict arises. How do we communicate in accordance to what they value? And furthermore, how do we find out and understand what they value, what is important to them? So this is well beyond the scope of this video, but if you are serious in understanding how to develop this skill, the art of communication, so that you can effectively navigate that complex landscapes and understand how do I implement the audience, message, and context, and you're serious about understanding that, then I invite you to work with me. Every week, I teach a global audience on how to master the skill, what to do when conflicts arise, how do we navigate those complex landscapes of different cultures, different opinions, different communication styles, and how do we come about on the other side, truly authentic to ourselves, speaking our truths and making a difference along the way. So if you're serious about achieving these outcomes for your life and your career, then I invite you to apply to work with me. Below this video in the description, the very first link is a link for you to book a call, and either myself or someone from my team will get on the call with you. And this is just a discovery call to explore whether or not this is the right fit for both of us. So if you're serious about receiving coaching from me and you are deciding to make an investment in your mind and in your education, then apply. This is not for you if you are just wondering if there's a quick fix, or if you're kind of earlier on in your career path, then this is not for you. And I encourage you to continue watching my YouTube videos. But if you're serious and you're established in your career and you see how this is going to help you to elevate your career path, then book a call, and I look forward to chatting with you and seeing you on the inside. Now remember, one of the truths that you are sharing is the truths around what are your boundaries. And there's many different boundaries that you can set at work. There are time boundaries, there are role boundaries, right? There are even physical boundaries and financial boundaries, and also scope boundaries at work. So there's many different boundaries. And really it is your responsibility as the leader in your industry or as a member of your team to set boundaries, because it is unrealistic to expect other people to honor our boundaries if we have been unable to express them in effective ways. So once again, I've created a video to share with you the steps on how to set clear boundaries at work. And if you want to access that video, once again, the link is right here. Same as before. So this is a different video that I recommended earlier. Right after this one, head to this video right there and therefore in that video, I'll share with you how to set healthy boundaries at work. And step number 4 is to express your magnificence. It's hard to see your magnificence if all you focus on are the parts of you that are not lovable or that aren't as good as somebody else's. But the key is these parts are perceived as unlovable when they are compared to somebody else's characteristics or traits that you perceive as better than, or more desirable, or have some sort of an advantage of what you perceive you don't have. Right? It's always in comparison to somebody else where the parts of us that we are not valuing become unlovable. So I encourage you when it comes to expressing your magnificence. And the magnificence is there. right? I encourage you to look for the evidence in your life that shows you, and this is real historical truths, evidence in your life that shows you that all of those things that you felt that other people have that are better than yours, or maybe the parts of you that are unlovable in comparison to someone else, find the evidence in your life where you can see for yourself that you express them too, that you also had that same magnificence. But maybe they had the magnificence that you express it in, it looks different from the way that it expressed it in. But that's the thing, you had that characteristic nonetheless. The one that you perceived that you admired in someone else also resides in you, but it's just currently right now in a way that you don't expect it to be in, or in an avenue that isn't quite the avenue that you want it to be in. But the key is that it is there. And once you look for enough evidence, this is where you can really begin to see the magnificence inside, and the internal conversation, the dialogues will change between I am not good enough, or that I need to therefore show other people and please other people. That dialogue will change from that to one that is empowering instead of disempowering. So let's summarize what we talked about so far. The steps to stop people pleasing and really get back to your authentic self is number one, to know your who, right? Express your who. Step number two was to express your authentic self. And step number three was to express your truth. Step number four is to express your magnificence. And finally, the fifth step, step number 5, is to express your gratitude. You see, all the symptoms that I mentioned earlier when it comes to people pleasing, the fear of losing out on a relationship, the fear of being perceived as someone uncaring, or maybe the fears of worrying that you're not going to be needed anymore, the fear of rejection, all of those fears are symptoms of people pleasing. But fear and gratitude cannot coexist. When you feel gratitude, you do not feel fear. And when you feel fear, you do not feel gratitude. So express your gratitude. Because once you have done the previous step in expressing your magnificence and seeing that all of those things that you didn't feel that you had inside of you are actually there, this is when you can be grateful for having both sides of who you are, right? Because when it comes to raising up and stepping into your greatness, it is not possible to be 100% one direction and 100% a different direction. So this is what you can be grateful for. This is who I am. This is what I authentically admire, and this is what I authentically value in my life, what's important to me. And I'm grateful for where I am today. I'm grateful for having these values. Because as a result of these values, this is where it got me, right? The things that I do love about me, the things I do love in my life, the things that I have achieved that I am grateful for achieving. And when you can express that gratitude and genuinely see it for what it is, not what you think it should be or what you think it ought to be, but you see it for what it is, from your authentic self who is raised up in your magnificence, this is where the fears will subside. So I encourage you to comment below. What did you learn? What was the biggest takeaway for you? And what are you going to do next to raise your gratitude and to really see your magnificence? Share with me your comments below, and remember to subscribe, because every week I upload videos like this and also on topics about career and communication and also critical thinking. So I look forward to hanging out with you in my next video. Have a great rest of your day.